Hello, Leo. Welcome to your reading for April 20th to the end of the month. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And, before we dive in, I'm just going to tell you where you're now. All right. Because remember your annual forecast. I said 2025, everything changes. All the planets changing signs, all the outer planets changing signs in this compressed period of time. But remember, it's the middle of March that really kicked things off. The end of March, we had that major once in a lifetime alignment that you're still riding that wave. All right. So you're feeling this big shift. And I want you to embrace this shift as you move into this brand new era in your life. This is, I did say April's going to be a bonkers month, and this is going to be the most pivotal time of April now. Okay. Remember from your April monthly forecast, I said things get a little bit, right, toward the end of the month, and we're here, but it's still, there's like amazing things happening. But I want you to consider it like where you're at now. It's almost like this graduation, like true death and rebirth, phoenix rising from the ashes. You're going to see that here too with Pluto. You see being very active. There's about 5 storylines that, like, your life story, your journey, your commitments, your path. Okay, about 5 of them that are reaching this point of climax. They're all converging here. All right, the last 2 weeks. So truly, there's the end of something, birth of something new. And you're going to see, and I'm going to reference January a lot because a lot of these storylines started in January. And again, in your April monthly forecast, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about. Okay. So brand new, it'll be because I didn't have time. These are big storylines, one of which is Venus conjunct Saturn, which I obviously talked about, but we're gonna get into that because we're here now. All right. So just know your life is changing. All right. You're evolving. All right. You're riding this big wave. Your consciousness is expanding. I told you you're gonna see things that you've never seen in your life, and you're experiencing a wonderful new things happening in your life. The collective is shifting. It's all part of this big wave. These energies that could have felt overwhelming, but again, we're coming out of that wave, and it is this big wake up call. It's like this crescendo. It is, the year of the Great Awakening, as I mentioned in your annual forecast, but this month particularly. So tap into that Neptune and Aries energy that just happened for you in your ninth house of spirituality, right? That's where what Aries represents for you, Leo. All right. So that's that spiritual warrior. So harness that leadership, empowered energy. All right. You're likely feeling very fired up with Mars on your side. Wow. You got a lot of fired air happening now as well. It's like a rocket ship, like a AC/DC song. There's no retrograde. So a lot of forward momentum. So use this in the direction that you want to go. All right. Now, remember what I said last week as well. Like, there's a lot of energy here that can be a little aggressive, and like tempers and egos coming out to play. You're going to see that. All right. But remember, continue on your karmic journey. There's going to be a couple speed bumps, right? This week. All right. So let's go deep. And if you need to, I actually talked more about it, like the overwhelming energies that we've been feeling in my last live stream, and the last 2, even the one where I was just like, we need to talk, let's do it. So I'll leave those in the description box or, at the end of the video. But just know that April is this is that caterpillar to butterfly moment. All right. Think of the Fool, right? The Fool card, the card 0, right? Like, that's the Great Reset. That's what is happening. Very transformative energy. I'll get into that. So get comfortable, grab some popcorn, whatever you need to, and because I'm about to give you a lot. All right. You can always come back to this, and I'm here for you. All right. Now, Sunday, April 20th, Leo. Wow. We've got, sure, we move into Taurus season, which we'll talk about. But remember last week, I told you on this day, April 20th, there's 4 major aspects. So please look at your last week's video because it was preparing you for this moment. For Sunday, we have 4 very different energy signatures that you're going to feel this week. All right. You started feeling it last week. You're going to feel it play out this week. Okay. Remember, 2 of those aspects even I mean, like the 8 billion people on this planet has never experienced. It's like extremely important on your journey with, even with like Venus, XL, Uranus, we had Sun Square. I just look at your last week video. Now, we are, because you're going to feel it now. Now, we officially enter Taurus season. Great. That's amazing because with all this fire and air energy, you've got Taurus, which is very earthy and very grounding. Okay. So this is helping bring in that, let me feel centered, for the next 4 weeks, right? And a lot of y'all, it's the next 4 weeks, you're going to be focusing on career, your reputation, how you're recognized, and how you want to be recognized, right? Because Taurus rules your 10th house, okay? That is very public facing, all right? And it doesn't matter if you're retired. It doesn't matter if you're not working. Yes, a lot of y'all are going to feel it in career, in the career space. Fame, it's the house of fame. But wherever you're exerting your energy into that you want to be known for, all right? You want to be known for as the best, motorcyclist in Daytona, or whatever, there you go. That's where you're putting your energy. You want to be known as the best mom in your gated community. There you go. That's where you're putting your energy. It's the house of fame, but very, very highly linked to career and honors and achievements and whatnot. So Taurus season is bringing that stability, okay? Very resilient energy too, but Taurus is your physical world, material possessions, resources, shopping, wealth. That's going to be big for you. Remember, you got your North Node in your 8th house. That's all about wealth building. We're going to talk about that. So your values, your desires, what makes your heart sing, that's what Taurus season is going to be, especially with, again, your reputation, how you want to be seen, career. All right. It's also sensual pleasure, sensuality. That's what, Taurus is the physical, like I said, it's the body, right? If Aries is I am, Taurus is I feel. So again, a lot of that energy you're going to be feeling for the next 4 weeks as well, things that make you feel good. And you've got all these other activations. So yes, with love and partnerships, money, big thing here for the next 4 weeks for you. All right. So everything that you just even coming after that new moon solar eclipse in Aries, all that Aries energy that we've been having, that's been building up, now you're applying it into your physical world to feel empowered, taking inspired action for comfort. Taurus is all about comfort, okay? To feel comfort and security and wealth, all right? And when I say wealth, that can be wealth in family, wealth in career, wealth in like literally financially, or wealth in your relationship. So wherever you're applying it, all right, this is your time to take that action to build the world that you want to live in, right? And just feel, please feel. It's sensuality, okay? Mind, body, spirit. It doesn't have to be like, it is your physical world, but like just feel moved, yeah? Through music, art, Cracker Jacks, whatever you want. Taurus does rule food, by the way. All right. So whatever moves you and inspires you, that's the thing here. The one thing with Taurus season though, and this is for everybody, okay? It's not like just you, but Taurus season can be like, because it is all about comfort, people can, there is, that energy of like, you feel so comfortable that you're like, okay, that's great. That's it. And then stop doing things, and then you just wait for things to happen. So continue, right, to take those inspired actions. Right now, April 21st, here we are, and listen. This is it. All right, Saturn and Venus conjuncting the North Node. This is happening on the 21st, but then on the 25th, you see Saturn and Venus conjuncting. So you got to see this as a package deal from the 21st to the 24th. The hot spot, right? But it's powerful, and you've been feeling it all month. Yeah. So this is when you really feel it. And with Saturn and Venus with a North Node conjuncting, that's at 26 degrees. What are the chances? The 26 degrees is the Taurus degree. All right. Keep that in mind. 26. I'm going to bring it up later. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it's very important. Okay. Now, and all of this, remember, I talked about this in your April forecast for you to prepare for this moment. So hopefully you've been preparing for this moment. Venus and Saturn, the North Node, they've been dancing. They've been, laughing. They've been together. They have been conjuncting. This is their perfection, though. This is when, so they've been like negotiating all of that. So what does this mean for you, right? Well, this is what I was saying, part of like 5 storylines playing out for you. Venus and Saturn, yeah, they were, think about January 18th to about the 21st. All right. That's the first, Venus Saturn conjunction. Okay. So that's when things started like, let me map out my mission statement, right? Because they're on the North Node, my destiny, my true purpose, you know, the direction I'm going. It all around that time in January. Around that time in January. So just think about that. Okay. There could have been some big emphasis on your personal transformation. The eighth house is transformation. They're both, this all happening in your eighth house. So for Leo, that's death and rebirth. That's transformation. So when I talk about this big death and rebirth butterfly caterpillar moment for y'all, or caterpillar butterfly, that's truly for y'all. That's where your North Node is right now. That's where the North Node is for you right now in Pisces. Okay. And so you spent the past few months with Mercury and Venus and even Mars, retrograde, to reassess that. Like, what do I want moving forward? Right? So, what is going to truly move me? Right? Reassessing, re-examining things. Right? And now you've come to the fated convergence point of now I know. Right? So, with Venus is here asking, you're asking, like, what does bring me pleasure? What does my heart desire? Yeah. With partnerships, relationships, business, eighth house, like I said, wealth building. So it's like shared assets, it's investments, inheritance, bonuses, commissions, loans, all of that, taxes, all of that. Okay. So royalties, but also partnerships is a big thing, but like this depth when it comes to partnerships and relationships, but really big for you. And it's going to play out bigly because there's a couple things happening for you. Okay. Venus, remember, is in Pisces, and Venus is exalted in Pisces, which she does her best. So there is something here that Venus is bringing that's really sweet and compelling when it does come to love and wealth and money and creativity and creative projects and even beauty and harmony, diplomacy, passion. All of that is on the table for you now. Okay. You're charting out your karmic journey. All right. Heart base. We're talking about Venus, the heart, right? You're feeling it in your soul. And I want you to. This week, I want you to feel moved, all right? Quite frankly, many of you will be, all right? Because you've got the North Node activation. Think of the North Node as your spiritual GPS to your destiny, all right? Now, Saturn, different story from Venus. Remember, I've talked about Saturn. He can come in hard. Saturn is structure and bones and the long term, right? Authority. He brings those reality checks. Saturn is life lessons, right? Thus, he represents karma on the point of fate and destiny. All right. So this is going to be a big moment for you. April 21st to the 24th. But again, you've been feeling it all month. This is that culmination point. All right. So if you have not been passing Saturn's test, if you have not been putting in the work for the things that your heart desires, Saturn is going to be like Gandalf, and he's going to say, you shall not pass, right? So you've got to ask yourself, when I said in your April monthly forecast, think about what you want for your destiny, your purpose, what makes your heart sing, what, like this is the direction you're going. Have you learned your karmic lesson since January? All right. That was the first time. This is the third act, okay, with Venus, Saturn, North Node. Okay. What is your legacy? What are your goals? What do you want to leave behind for your children, grandchildren, for the collective, for humanity, for all of that? Now, here's the thing. If you don't know, that's fine. That's fine. It's just Saturn is going to say, okay, you don't know. You finish your test, right? Or, go do more laps until you know. You don't have to know. You have to have an idea of which way you're going, because what Saturn is doing, he is going to come in hard, all right? And he's going to say, because he amplifies the North Node, and he amplifies, and that amplifies the house it's in. And for you, again, I said, that is the 8th house. That's deep, all right? That is deep. It's your personal, it's death and rebirth, regeneration. There is this new you. And so that can be hard when you leave this old you moving into this new, but you need to get excited for this. These planets are helping that north node nudge you in this direction toward your destiny. So the thing is, if you have worked with Saturn, and all of y'all, once Mars moved into your side, you're like, yep, I know, right? So if you worked with Saturn, you passed this test. If you stay true to your authentic self and you put in the work, you passed. Done. You're good. Mission accomplished. Now you're going to start reaping your rewards, right? Remember Saturn being karma. And so Saturn is going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, great. Great report. You get an A, right? You know what you want. Let's do it. Let me build that bridge for you, because I am structuring stability and support, and I'm bringing that to your commitments, to finances, to everything I mentioned, all right? Everything that you're devoted to, your long-term goals. Saturn is authority, like I said, so there can literally be someone of authority here that is actually helping, all right? And with it being in your 8th house, it can be an investor, okay? What did I say? Investments, okay? It can be it can be there. So remember, it's after you have put in that work, after you have passed Saturn's test, right? So really, really knowing that everything that you've been going through, all those overwhelming energies that we've had, and we've had a lot, okay, especially in April, they were there to test you, all right? So even back in March, you're going to be going through these tests. So this was all testing you, all right, for you to know what direction you do want to go. This is your destiny, not my. This is your destiny. And Saturn was just saying, how much do you want it? Venus and Mercury double retrograde for many months, okay, and just retrograde. That was them saying, hey, take this time to reassess what you want, all right, for this new direction, if that's even what you want, right? So as you enter this brand new era, this whole new world, you got some big changes coming. Venus is pleasure, okay? Don't forget that. Heart, harmony. And she's sweet. And remember, Saturn is hard, and he's limits and discipline. They're very different. Venus is hot, Saturn is cold. There's compromise here. Why? Because Venus is exalted, all right, in your 8th house. That's good. Venus softens Saturn's edges, okay? And so there was a lot happening for you all of April, especially after that Libra full moon. There was a lot, all right? And then remember, we did have Venus retrograde conjunct all back in the beginning of April. But anyway, there is this new there's this possibly an upgrade, ascension in partnerships, in relationships, or brand new ones, okay? Venus is now direct. She has all her power. She's exalted. She's easing Saturn. She's going to Saturn saying, dude, give the Leos, give it to them. Let them have it, all right? So it's really fortunate here, right, with Venus exalted. And then remember the Uranus-Saturn sextile that I talked about April 4th. You're feeling, remember I said we haven't, nobody, it's been 30 years, and that's playing out the entire year. Uranus, all about breakthroughs and innovation and evolution and revolution and freedom. That's big. That's big, okay? Uranus is the son of Saturn. So now Uranus is going up to his dad saying, Dad, dude, chill out. Let them have these changes, right? So make that great change. This is your big break, especially with fame and career. This is big for you. And honors and achievements and social status and leadership. I mean, big. Now, what really amplifies this is that on April 24th, the day that we have the Saturn-Venus conjunction, that's not it. It's Saturn, Venus, the North Node, and the Moon in Pisces now, all in this epic group hug for you. For remember, Moon in Pisces, North Node in Pisces. This is your spiritual path. It's your spiritual awakening. Uranus is very active. Now, you've got an exalted Venus conjunct the Moon. That alone, for you, well, hey, that's very special. It's very romantic. And remember, romantic can be like love. It can be romantic toward the arts. It can be romantic, whatever what you desire. So this is special because what is happening here, I'm going to tell you. All right. I usually, but Mm. Venus is at her degree of exaltation. And so the April 24th, April 25th, gangbusters. Gangbusters. All right? Pay attention. Venus, what does that even mean, right? At her degree of exaltation. It means that Venus is exalted in Pisces. That means she's in her throne that's carried by people. All right? When she hits her degree of exaltation, that's when she's being crowned. This is love, beauty, harmony of epic cosmic proportion, right? This is, again, money, wealth building. This is also intimate, like sex is a big thing that's part of this, right? That sexual relationships, building upon. It's heart based. It's all about like, it's Pisces energy. So, again, very spiritual. Just use this. Just please feel moved, you know? Because this is an alignment of pure pleasure and romance, all right? Not to be seen again until Valentine's Day, actually, 2026, right? So remember, these planets they help you on your journey, on your North Node life journey, all right? Look at my last live stream. I talk more about this because it's a big thing, all right? So because everyone has a different North Node in your birth chart anyway, but anyway, so it's this area of your life that's your big focus for the year. Now, the moon conjunct Saturn, that can be hard, all right? Because remember, Saturn's discipline. There's something here with, again, in your 8th house, but remember, Venus is here at her exalted degree. And so remember what I said, Saturn's reality checks. And so this is all happening in Pisces, your dreams. So this is Saturn putting your dreams to reality, making them real. But you got to put in that, right? So it's like new rules, new habits, new changes to reap your rewards. And you may have like deja vu from the last week of March around this time. Okay. Big stuff happening here. Also, just remember that the moon typically, is mother, right? Saturn, father. So there can be mom, father energy here. Okay. Strong authority figures, or, that in your life. It can be like grandmother as well, grandfather, things like that, or like boss or investor, like I said, or it could be your mother giving you money, or it could be, do you know what I mean? Like there's something here. Now, remember what I said, Venus, Saturn, North Node conjunction at 26 degrees. So, like I said, that is the Taurus degree, and 26 degrees is the degree of love and creativity. Like, you can't make this up. So, yes, this is like that final test with the North Node, but it's like, oh, you're going to feel good. This is think creation. Think the Empress card. That's what this is. Okay. So, what I love about 26 degrees, by the way, is that it is a culmination point. It's like an enormous sigh of relief after you've gone through some choppy waters. Yeah? All right? So this is actually really amazing. Now, I really want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say, all right? Because this is going to be big, and this is, again, preparing you. Remember, next month, Saturn then moves into Aries, joining Neptune. So this is like the Pisces area of your, like what's happening for you, passing Saturn to Aries, just like he did with Neptune. Remember, everything's leaving that 0 degree point of fresh beginnings into Aries, right? Mercury did, Venus did, all of that, all right? They're doing that. So big storyline playing out for you right now, all right? Big storyline, especially because Aries is that entrepreneur, the pioneer, the leader, that fiery energy, bringing a whole new vibe shift to your destiny, okay? So we'll talk about that more next month, but this is just really amplifying that spiritual, like your inner wisdom. You're becoming the authority, a leader, a spiritual leader, a teacher, an educator, the wise one that people are coming to. There's you writing a book, you got that amplified here too. That's something that you may be doing, all right, come next month. Or podcast, broadcasting. You may even do a lot of travel, be an authority in travel, all right? So a lot happening here, all right? Now, by the way, if you do watch for your rising or your moon, or like let's say your husband or your best friend or your kid, everyone is going to feel this greatly, but the mutable signs, that would be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, the most, right? especially, if that's moon or rising. But if you know your birth chart, all right, if you know your natal chart, you have any planets between 23 to 29 degrees of any of the signs that I just mentioned. It does not matter which one, because we look at the angular aspects. You will feel this the most. Now let's talk about Pluto. All right, he's coming in hard. He's the third. He's the second checkpoint. All right, so Pluto's like the Incredible Hulk, right? Pluto likes to break things. Okay, for breakthroughs, breakdowns for breakthroughs. Pluto is transformation, right? Incredible Hulk, the scientist, the green monster or whatever. What is he? Superhero. Sorry. So just keep that in mind. All right. Because remember, you've already got your North Node here in your 8th house of death and rebirth, where you are breaking things down to have this big transformation and rebirth, right? So now you throw in Pluto in the mix, Pluto is very psychological, very forensic. He goes really, really deep and nerds out, like Bruce Banner, right? The scientist, the physicist. So you're definitely gonna feel a little bit more of like the green side of that of Pluto this week, because Wednesday, April 23rd, you've got the Sun square Pluto. All right, so remember the Sun is in Taurus, squaring Pluto in Aquarius. So you've got that, two fixed signs, right? But remember what happened on Sunday that you're gonna feel now. The Sun squaring Mars in your sign. So you're the third fixed sign here. That is now, it's like this square off where these three are not seeing eye to eye. So again, from Sunday until now, Wednesday, that's the hot spot. That's the most intense of the energies. Mars in your sign is in your sign, therefore you are really going to feel this. Okay? So, and Mars in Leo, again, that's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. But remember what I said last week. Yeah, the lower frequencies and energies of that is pride, is ego. This, where none of them are budging, right? This square off, three-way square off, not seeing eye to eye. Yeah, that is ego. That's power trips. That's power struggles. Remember, Mercury in Aries amplifies that. I said it can be aggressive energy if it goes to, you know what I mean? So what does this mean? This is all about wanting too much power, too much control. Everyone will feel this. Everybody. Okay? But in different areas of their life. Now you, Leo, no? You've got a lot happening. Now, you've got Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is your opposite sign. Therefore, partnerships, relationships, one-on-one commitments. It can be love, it can be career, it can be an agent, your agent, it can be your, I don't know, like your private chef, just one-on-one. All right? Your publicist, it doesn't matter. There's something here where there's going to be a little, we've got to compromise and not have all right? So, secondly, most likely something that has to do with your reputation or your career. So it can be a boss, can be a colleague, can be something here, a business partner. Like I said, it's a lot happening with someone else involved in your life with these squares. So that is why I'm spending a little bit more time with you, to let you know that it's all about being diplomatic, all right? Because we haven't even gotten to the big one yet. Now, Pluto in Aquarius, while we're here, that's great. That's innovation, that's forward thinking, it's revolution, but also remember, Pluto goes deep, so revelation, so things coming to the surface, all right? Bear that in mind. This is a great aspect physically. It builds confidence when you use the higher expression. It's very motivating. So you can use this, yeah? I always say it. Use the aspects, don't let them use you. Pluto goes deep. You can have really great, immense clarity on rooting things, but also remember, there's that sense of freedom, right? With Aquarius, but also Uranus is very active. Uranus is a ruler for Aquarius as well. So this is a great time to free yourself from a circumstance or a situation or a person that you're just like, this is my North Node moment. I don't need this, right? Diplomatically, remember that. But whatever it is, it's to move the needle forward, okay? And it's not letting anyone get your goat or lion, right? Because people will be in moods. They're going to be in moods. Everyone's affected by this, and we got like a triple, right? All right. So just remember, you're on your path. You're on your karmic journey. Your path to enlightenment. You're going to be fine. Just use this. It's all about mind over matter. It's your actions. All your actions have. This is what karma is. I've told you that. That's why we say actions have consequences. Everything has ripple effects. So remember, love-based, heart-based living. All right, living through your heart, not your ego. All right. Remember, Pluto's your empowerment. So use this instincts, intuition, all of that. Just be flexible too. Now, remember, I said think about mid-January, the 18th to the 20th. But now I really want you to think about it again. All right. There is another storyline here that's playing out. It's when we have the Sun conjunct Pluto. And so I just think the last 2 weeks of January, that's a whole year-long story, okay? That's a cycle. And so this is just a little speed bump along the way, a little plot point along the way. That's all it is, all right? And it has to do with, for you, a partnership, a relationship, doesn't matter, one-on-one connection, it doesn't matter. It can be marriage. It can be also legal matters, okay? Yeah. All right. So keep that in mind, all right? Then you got Friday, April 25th. You got Mars. Okay, so here we are. We're at Mars opposite Pluto. So this is the big one. This is the big kahuna. This is the one that I said, okay, this is an opposition. You're going to feel this all week. You're going to feel the buildup starting now to this point. You're going to feel it the week after. This is bringing a lot of heat to the kitchen. You've got Mars in your sign. Yeah, Pluto and Aquarius. So again, who's going to be impacted the most out of all the signs? It would be you and Aquarius, but we'll talk about that. And all the other fixed signs, by the way. Now, think about the last week of December and the first week of January. I would even say the first 2 weeks, all right, of this year. So the good news is this is the end, the last opposition between Mars and Pluto, finishing out a story here. Okay, this is the third one, the last act. This is it. All right. So there's very likely something from that time that may be coming back around because Mars went retrograde right at that point. Okay, and so that was in that was in Cancer. That was your 12th house. But remember, Mars had spent all that time in your. So again, there may be something here with you, with partnerships, relationships, where you're feeling about him, legal matters, something around that time. Okay. If not come back around, there's something that may be refreshed. All right. Now, these are the two most powerful planets, and they're not seeing eye to eye. And it's very like West Side Story. Pluto just happens to be the higher octave of Mars. So what does Pluto do? Even though he's a dwarf planet, he's very powerful. So what he does is he takes Mars's energy and amplifies it. And so what's happening here is, again, there's something here with partnerships, relationships, legal matters, one-on-one connections. It can be your lawyer, your wedding planner. Just think one-on-one, okay? It can be love, career, whatever resonates with you, because Mars is in your sign. It's all about you and how you view them and all that. Anyway, remember what I said. A lot of egos at play here. Power trips, come at me, bro energy. Likely something with a boss, authority figure, because there's so much career stuff happening for you too, and you have to. It's this entire equation of all the other squares happening too. So yeah, there's something here that could be testing you and testing your freedom, or just it could just be a distraction on your path, right? That's all it is. Stay frosty, be cool, you're gonna be fine. This energy is very like choose your battles wisely energy, but most importantly, remember what I said, just channel your energy constructively. and think about how far you've come. I already, like all the strong energies we went through, be proud of yourself. Think about how far you're about to go with the North Node and Saturn Venus about to take you on this whole new, right? So don't let anyone trip you up, all right? Because this can be, again, everyone will feel this in different ways, but it is heightened, like, energy, okay? Like, arr. So Mars being physicality and action and passion and willpower in your sign, yeah, and Pluto being very transformative, use this. Go out and do some, like, I don't know, couples roller skating. Go build a fort. Do you know what I mean? Go to the cereal store together, holding hands. Just there's something here with partnerships, relationship, or a legal matter. There's something there. Sign off on contracts. Start something new, right? Again, you can use this. You can use this constructively for inspired actions, right? Mind, body, spirit. But go deep because it's Pluto. So again, Pluto's going to bring some things up in you so you do feel more empowered. All right. Again, using this energy constructively. All right. Now, because Pluto is the underworld, I've explained this. Think about the Mariana Trenches, like a treasure chest at the bottom of that. It's dark down there. So when I say you go deep, you go really deep. And so don't be afraid to explore. Okay? Going really deep here. It's really amazing to see people that have been, that were born with Mars opposite Pluto and how they channel it, that dark energy of that, right? The in a create like Mary Shelley, yeah. Even like a good example is like Ian McKellen and the characters he plays in his movies, because sometimes he plays like the villain, or that's like, but it's constructed, it's fun, do you know what I mean? So just channel this energy in a way where it makes sense for you. Now, what's really great is that Uranus and Taurus will sextile the North Node, and this is strong AF. You're going to feel this. Your life is changing. This is Uranus, bringing those breakthroughs, even surprises, light bulb moments. Remember, Uranus is lightning, right? Something unexpected likely, but this is karmic winds of change. With Uranus and the North Node, yeah. Breakthroughs, progress. You're going to feel this up until June. There's something big happening in May, though, mid-May, with Uranus and the Sun and the North Node and Saturn. So again, just think about these big changes that you want, what your heart desires, and Uranus is, the winds of change are going to push you in that direction. Vibrate at that high frequency. Again, Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house of fame and career and what you want to be recognized for and your reputation. But here's the thing, all right? How much time I got? Okay, let me tell you fast, because this is more about for the second spread. What's really amplifying this energy is the fact that you do have the moon in Aries that will conjunct Neptune, Mercury, and Chiron, the wounded healer, old wounds, right? But now Eris has come out to play, and she wants to play. All right. Eris, planetoid. Okay. Dwarf planet. The sister of Mars. Right? Mars is the warrior god in your sign. Now you got the spiritual feminine warrior. Very active here. You've heard the story of Eris. She threw the golden apple at the wedding to, shake things up, to very active. Okay, so remember, how that physical outlet that do painting, and you'll be fine. So and of course I'll tell you more about it in the second spread, because really, I mean, when she squares Pluto at 1 degree, like we're anyway. Fixed signs: Taurus, you, Scorpio, Aquarius, and I'm throwing in Aries. I'm gonna feel this the most. All right, if you have any planets in any of the signs that I just mentioned, between 1 to 5 degrees, you will feel this. Now, lastly, let me get to this. On Sunday, April 27th, we have the new moon in Taurus. Exactly 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Convert that to wherever you live in the world. That's New York City time, my time. This is a super new moon. Not a full moon, super new moon, okay? How that just means it's going to be orbiting really close to Earth. So you are going to feel this. Okay. Absolutely 1000%. Big energy here. All right. And I'm saying that, Leo, because it's going to be you and Taurus and Aquarius that feels this and the most, and Scorpio too. All right. So this new moon, we have a T square. So the moon and the sun and Pluto they have their collars flipped up. They are, you know what I mean? Like, not great. And it can be a little loud. And you throw in all of those other squares and oppositions, it can be not easy. Yeah. The moon reveals, the moon is emotions and the subconscious. But again, you can use this energy in your favor. Everything that I just said earlier. All right. So just mapping out what you want for the next 6 months. Again, this new moon in Taurus is in your 10th house of career and fame, your reputation. It's big. It's a big one. Use it to feel empowered. And yes, plant seeds. Yes. I mean, not out of low energy frequency, though. That's the thing. It has to be. And I've talked about manifestation and setting intentions. Just look at my live streams. Anytime you set intentions, you do it from the heart, from the soul. Yeah. This is a Venus ruled new moon. So you got Venus here helping you in a great spot. There's and the moon, by the way, is actually exalted in Taurus. So here's the thing. On paper, yeah, it may be a little because of all the other energies, but for you, oh my goodness, you could take this a whole other level. This is big. This is big. All right. So plant those seeds. It's Taurus energy. Spend time in nature, please. All right. Let's talk to the moon. Talk to the moon. I say it all the time. That's energy. Words. Everything is made of energy. The words that come out of your mouth, you put in the ether. That's that vibration. Okay. So it's a strong new moon, especially for you. Like I said, but I'm going to tell you why. Well, I already told you many reasons why. This new moon is having at 8 degrees. Okay. So remember what I said from like 40 minutes ago. Keep in mind, 26 degrees. A lot of the aspects happening at 26 degrees. 2 + 6 = 8. And there's a strong 8 energy for these 2 weeks. Now, 8 degrees is a critical degree for fixed signs. That includes you, Leo. All right. And obviously Taurus. So this is an 8-degree new moon. And technically, sure, it's like 7:46, but you round it up to 8. And even if you didn't, it's 7 + 4 + 6, 8. Now, 8 is very auspicious in numerology. It's prosperity. You think of Pythagoras, who basically built numerology. Prosperity, success, wealth. Taurus is a finance sign. You have your North Node in your 8th house of wealth building. So do you see, Leo, how you can really use this in your favor, taking it to a whole other level? 8 is harmony. It's cosmic harmony, spiritual, material. You got the North Node, spiritual. You got Saturn, Neptune, or you got Neptune in Aries, 9th house of spirituality. You got the material with the Taurus energy, this new moon, and your 8th house of, I mean, this is big for you. All right. Or think of the infinity symbol, the circle 8. Yeah. All right. And so the ancients considered 8 paradise. It's a great number. All right. And remember, you're going to be feeling it all week. So what is your paradise? All right, Leo, what's your paradise? The vision you have for yourself, the reality that you are creating for yourself. I say it all the time. You create your reality. Now, one more thing that I'm going to talk. Okay, this has gone to, I'll talk about the second spread, but there is something here happening that's going to shake things up. Okay. We'll talk about the second spread. Now, fixed signs, that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. I'm throwing in Libra, and I'm throwing in also like Capricorn and Virgo. Okay. So if your rising or your moon is right, you're going to feel this. Now, if you have any planets in fixed signs or earth signs in your birth chart between 4 to 10 degrees, yes, you're really going to feel this new moon. Okay. And remember, I said it's a great new moon, but there's just a little bit of a squeeze with the oppositions and the fact there's a T square. All right. But again, Everything, all your intentions, heart-based. Now, lastly, Wednesday the 30th, you got Venus moving into Aries again. You're gonna have Venus here until all of May, by the way. And yes, I said again because we already had this. Now you have Mercury and Venus together again until May 10th in your ninth house. All right, so mind, heart, Mercury, Venus, Mercury, Venus. Keep that in mind. They're tag teaming here. They're doing something great for you. It's that fiery entrepreneur energy. And, I do remember Venus was retrograde. Well, Venus was in Aries all of February. Remember that? And then went retrograde up until like the eclipse. And then Venus and Mercury went retrograde together. So, and that was like mid-March up until, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So again, it's in the sign of new beginnings, of leadership, all of that, very independent energy. What were the things that you wanted in March that you couldn't really get or couldn't do because of the retrogrades? It's in your ninth house of travel, publishing, broadcasting, higher mind, wisdom, spirituality. Now you can get it. Okay? And that's it. Let's get started. There's everything else. I mean, we'll talk more about we'll go deeper in the second spread. But Leo, oh gosh, okay. So Leo, y'all are amazing. Big 2 weeks for you. You got Mars in your sign. Use it, Leo. Let's see what's going on for you. All right, here we go. April 20th, 30th. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, Leo. Get it? Leo. What? Leo, y'all crack me up. Y'all crack me up. I do a traditional cult across spread, offers the best overview. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. So Leo, what a time for you. Big moment. I'm very excited for you for this brand new. You feel this rush, don't you? Like, look at what's happening for you. Big transformation. All right, let's get started. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's amazing. What happened there? I'll read it both ways for you, but whoa. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. You're good. You're absolutely good. You know what's really I'm going to tell you something funny. And it's a testament to something that's happening here. First, you got the Page of Swords. So yeah, you've already moved in this new direction. Yeah, you've already been using Mars in your sign. Yeah, you've already had that moment of like moved into something new already, or want to move into something new. That's the Page of Swords here, where you have this enthusiasm and the fact that you have all this buildup of, in your ninth house. That's huge. Okay, remember, it's your belief system, how you see things, your perspective. Everything's shifting. But like I said, education, new things. Page of Swords like a sponge, absorbing these new things. Very enthusiastic to just keep going. And there's this big new way of thinking for you. All right, so really great. Swords are the mental suit. And so yeah, there is almost like this reset, all right, with that, and that page brings in that fresh new energy that I love. Really wonderful, because there you go, you got the Ace of Cups. So again, a lot of this is like your mindset, how you see things, leaving the old system, or even the structures, the way that you were thinking, changing it, shaking things up. That's what that is. And look at what it leads to. The Ace of Cups and the heart of your spread. This is the Holy Grail. You see the dove. You see the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail, and this is in the heart of your spread, and we call this the heart of tarot. This is tears of joy. This is rapturous, nirvanic, like cups, love, emotions, feelings, relationships, wonderment, all of that, intuition, everything, healing. What I say about Taurus season. What I say, sensuality, it's like the senses, 5 senses, the 5 straight, all your everything here. This is the birth of new things, aces, new beginnings, new opportunities, new cycles, change. You're good. You got the hand of spirit offering it to you. You're good. So what is this? This is you getting your dream job, or starting your business, getting that LLC, having a baby, getting married. It just whatever. It's you. This is tears of joy. Think about the last time something brought you so much joy, brought you to tears. You're good. Now, you got death in your challenge area. There's 3 messages coming through. The first one, so the first one is just, yes, you've got to make that change if you haven't. All right. Remember, it's all about leaving the old, moving into the new. Don't resist change. All right. Change is happening. Change is the only constant in this world, but it may feel like great change with the energies happening right now. Don't resist. Okay. The second thing is like it's almost like that is like you're coming out of that, if that makes sense. You literally, when I say you've got the North Node in your 8th house of death and rebirth, yeah. So it is, again, it just feels like there's something that may come through that requires you to change, or it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing that ever happened. I am like, I don't know, a recruiter reached out and now I'm getting this huge. So I am leaving this job that I've been at for 10 years where I felt comfortable. And do you know what I mean? Like that, it's something may happen that will require you to change things. Okay. But in the best way possible. Now, lastly, and this is a big one, there may be someone in your life, like a partner, in career, in love, in wherever, that one-on-one commitment I was talking about. There may be someone there that may be resistant to something new that's happening in your life, okay? Or the change that you want in your life. So just bear that in mind. Remember, it's all about compromise. It's all about compromise and, going with your intuition. Yeah, you're good. You got the 3 of Pentacles. There you go. There you go. Here, yeah, that's all about the new. But that's teamwork energy, all right? That's teamwork. And it's working with others, bonding with others, feeling that joy as you work with others. A lot of y'all are building these new. You did get the 3 of Pentacles last time, so you know all about it. Okay, last week it's Pentacles, it's money, it's a wealth building. This is a beginning. 3, a vibration of the Empress, right? New beginning, creation, the birth of new things, but also growth and advancement and all of that, right? But again, there is something here that you're manifesting where it is working with others. And you do see the pentacles in the structure of the building. So remember those bones of Saturn really at work here as well. This is a Capricorn card, by the way. So that is like work anyway. Capricorn rules your 6th house of work and everyday activities and routines and habits in your lifestyle, but also, health matters as well, if that's a thing. But Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn, being very active anyway. So structure here, structure. I love this. You're good. Here's the thing. This has been very interesting because whenever I do any sign, I think I told you this, I always do like a little meditation before, it's not like recorded. And then I'm all, like shuffling and like pulling the energy, and this card flipped out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. All right. So, very, very interesting. And I was like, all right. So if that shows up, then, we'll talk about it. And yeah, you got the 7 of Swords. Now, why is this a big deal? Because I just told you, out of all the signs, I want you to just be mindful when we have that Mars-Pluto opposition, even with the Sun-Pluto aspect. Pluto being your opposite sign of, partnerships, relationships. And this card is, associated with like lying and cheating and stealing. Yeah. But, and again, just be mindful. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Here's the thing. Look at your entire spread, right? And so is there something that you're holding in? Is there something that you're being a little like sneaky about? And remember, this is a week where it's like truth coming to the surface. So go with that energy. If there's something that you need to tell or even think about or face, it's all about facing your truth and your reality, right? And so that really is the thing. Like it's the best thing for you. If, with even the fact that you've got Mars in your sign opposite Pluto, remember I said things are going to be coming to the surface. Let them. You don't have to hold things in. Look at what's happening. All right. And so it's more about that. And this is an Aquarius card. That's why I bring it up. Like this aspect is really going to have an impact on you. So keep that in mind, because this card is a lot of like deception and deceit and dishonesty. But again, it's more about you being honest with yourself about you moving forward. All right. So now you have the 10 of Wands in your future. So whether you read this like upright or reverse, I don't know if my hand did it because I don't look at the spread when I, whatever. It's basically your, don't take on too much. Okay. There's a little bit of burden and burnout energy with the 10 of Wands. Okay. And so, but it is a 10. So you're coming to the end of something. You see that here with that new beginning, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. Like all of this is new energy. Like I said, same thing with that 10 when 0 equals 1. And so don't, it's like, this is like holding on to stuff. You need to let right with this new era for you, new beginning, new journey. All right. So be mindful of the things that you do need to let go. All right. It's almost like when you go on a trip, are you gonna bring 46 suitcases? No, you just want to pack the right. So and then there is that element of like doing so much that it may be too much for you, especially if you're taking on other people's right responsibilities, and you don't want to do that with that 7 of Swords here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one last thing. Oh gosh, he carrying so many wands, he can't see where he's going. He's looking back. He's not looking at the future. So again, let things come up that you can see. Okay. Don't hold things in. Don't hold things in. That's just going to weigh you down. Yeah. But the good news is, like, even if with this, like, coming out reverse, it's like, there's this, like I said, this sigh of relief and release. We've got so many opportunities of that this week. And so it does seem like there's this, this is over. This is beginning. I love this. Let's get to your stuff. Oh my goodness. Leo, if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. What's going on, Leo? You're going through a big moment. You're going through a big moment. I'm very excited for you. I love y'all. All right, so let's. Oh my gosh, don't play with me. Don't play with me, Leo. I cannot even. Oh my fax machine. What is going on here? Well, you got the 9 of Pentacles. What I say about wealth building? That's what you want anyway. She built her wealth. She worked hard. This is all that. She was disciplined. She played by Saturn's rules, right? Now look at her reaping her rewards. That's you move in that direction. You don't let anything distract you. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Look at her standing in her garden of abundance, all that harvest, all the pentacles, all that money and wealth. Remember, I said wealth comes in a lot of different forms. A lot of different forms. And it's your physical world. Your physical world. I love this. And that is a Virgo card, by the way. You know, Virgo rules your second house of income, salary, finances. You got the Ace of Wands. Something is coming through. You see that. You go, remember what I said. 10 of Wands, the end. And look, come on. I can't make this up. Ace of Wands. You got 2 aces here. Ace of Wands is new beginnings. Like I said. But wands, something you're passionate about. There's something coming through. Big time. It's the biggest wand in the deck. You got career. If you're here for that, new job, new profession, whatever you want, you got to put that energy out there. But again, just anything that you're passionate about, anything that you're ambitious about, even if it's not career. Maybe even a baby. I'm not even joking. With like something with family, there's something you're building. Remember, new energy. That's even like end of new energy. You recognize the Fool? Did you see your last week's reading? It's what you want. What did I say? This month is like a reset with the Venus-Saturn conjunction and everything else that's happening, that 0, everything crossing the 0 degree point in Aries. It's been happening since March. You got the Fool. You want this take that leap of faith. Trust in yourself. You're good. And then, what is happening? You got strength in your final outcome. What'd I say? We got strong 8 energy. 8 is your card. Strength is your card. Card 8. I don't even know what to say at this point. You got your own card. This is you having that inner courage. This is you saying, like, I can do anything. I got it. I got it. This is you working with the divine. That inner strength, that all of that. This is, I can't even, like, I did talk about the infinity symbol. She is one of 2 people in all of tarot that have that symbol of infinity over her head. She knows anything is possible. Anything. She knows that because she has that confidence and that strength, and she makes it happen. She creates her reality. I don't even know what to say. Like, this is mind-blowing stuff here, Leo. You don't need any clarifiers. You got 2 aces. You got 2 aces. I can't even, like, yeah, some of y'all are gonna, let me see. Yeah, I told you also, yeah, this is, okay, so if you are here for, like, remember, you have a lot of energy in your 8th house, and the 8th house has, like, intimacy. Let's call it intimacy. There's a lot that Leo, y'all are amazing. If you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of energy here. But next, okay, so the second spread, yes, we're gonna go deep. I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to tell you, but this is over an hour and I did not intend that. You do have a lot going on for you though, okay? But we will talk about, I'm gonna do a second spread for this new moon, okay? As you can see, you've got something big happening, okay? And then there's, like I said, there's a big Jupiter aspect. We're going to talk about Eris, something really major happening with the North Node. Again, that surprise that we'll talk about that for you, what you can expect. There's just too much. Well, okay, let's, and then next week, yeah, we go into May. I mean, come on. This is going to be a big time for you. I'm going to tell you next week. All right. I don't want to ruin the surprise, the amazing thing that's about to happen for you in May. Many big things. It's a quieter month in April, but there's, again, we'll talk about it. Leo, y'all are amazing. You got a lot to look forward to. You have a lot to look forward to, and you're going through great change. I love you. You're amazing. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.